Remember the last time you booked an Uber and your fragile ego got crushed after knowing that the Uber driver makes more money than you? Well, you were just exposed to the gig economy. When a worker decides to do a particular task on a contract basis or hourly basis and charges accordingly, it's called a gig. And today it has a whole separate economy that generates around $204 billion in gross volume. Now, don't confuse gigs with part-time jobs. It's obviously different from a traditional full-time job, but many people have made gigs as their full career. But why this shift? Why are people deliberately choosing an unpredictable, risky career path in the same domain where they can get a cushy 9-to-5 job? Well, it's about two things: freedom and opportunities. Gig workers are bound by timelines, but not by the amount of work and work hours. And most importantly, they get to choose how much they should get paid. Now, hearing this might have made you think, if doing random gigs is so fun, won't it eventually kill full-time jobs? Well, that's what we're going to discuss today: the impact of the gig economy on full-time jobs. First of all, we need to understand that it's not as beautiful as it sounds. Finding gigs that pay you well can be daunting. Even today, many gig workers remain underpaid, making it hard for full-time employees to switch to gig work. In a national survey of gig workers, some shocking data points were found. 1 in 7 gig workers, which is around 14% of them, earn less than the federal minimum wage. Around 62% of gig workers lost money due to technical difficulties, and around 19% couldn't afford food to eat. And when this research was conducted, around 31% didn't pay their last month's utility bills. So you see, it's not as easy to make money as a gig worker. And along with this, a gig worker doesn't even get half of the benefits a full-time employee gets when working for a firm. Have a look at this table. It's the comparison between the legal rights of an employee and a gig worker in the US. A gig worker or an independent contractor doesn't even have access to some crucial legal rights. Now, a gig worker is not just your pizza delivery guy or your Uber driver. It can also be someone who you don't know but is still serving you. Like someone who created a website that you were just using and found its user interface awesome. What I mean is you can do anything and everything as a gig worker. Now, 1 in 6 American adults have performed a gig at platforms like Uber, DoorDash, and so on. And that's why it's important for them to hold crucial legal rights and benefits that could help them in the long run. So the question is whether gig workers will ever get the same basic benefits that every worker deserves or not. And to answer this, the US government in January 2024 issued new rules that will make some organizations treat contractors as employees. Basically, the rule says if a person is economically dependent on a company, he should be treated as an employee rather than as a contractor. Now, this sounds good, but it might actually backfire and kill the gig economy. Because if you transform gig workers into employees, then it's not helping the gig economy in any way. Its most practical use case will be to punish businesses who misclassify their employees as gig workers to save money. That's why many businesses have stood against it. So coming back to the gig workers, it's important that we give them benefits like medical insurance, retirement fund, etc. Because once this happens, Americans will be safe feeling part of the gig economy, making more people quit their full-time jobs. Because as we discussed in the beginning, being part of the gig economy gives you both freedom and opportunities, but people will only go for it once they feel their future is secured. Now, drop a line in the comments to share your views on the future of the gig economy versus traditional jobs. And if you found this video interesting, click on the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We'll be back with another banger soon.